Folks, Morgan State University has canceled all homecoming activities this weekend, plus classes, as they continue to search for the individual or individuals responsible for a shooting on campus that left 5 people injured. Police have released a video asking the public to help identify these individuals of interest. Investigators believe there was a dispute between 2 groups when gunfire erupted near a university dorm. At least 3 people were believed to have been armed. 4 men and 1 woman between 18 and 22 were shot and hospitalized with non-life-threatening wounds. Classes are going to resume on Monday. Now, Bowie State, they are having their homecoming as well. And so what they have done is they have increased security on their campus as a result of the shooting at Morgan State. Bowie State's police chief released a statement saying, "Our hearts go out to the Morgan State University community. We understand that law enforcement is ongoing. There's going to be an event probably every day where we have to adjust and to change. They're going to be deploying armed and unarmed officers on campus. Security teams at Bowie State also will be out on bikes and have walking beats, as well as have metal detectors and security wands at homecoming events. They also going to be upgrading their security cameras, and more lights are going to be installed in dark areas around campus." This right here clearly is the reality that our universities are going to have to deal with, Nicole. And look, this is not somehow unique to HBCUs. We've seen these shootings take place on other campuses. This is also the fact of life when you have a lot of these places where they have concealed carry and you don't even have to have permits, you don't have to go to classes anymore. There's been such an expansion of guns in this country that you just simply literally assume guns are around you everywhere you go, including restaurants.
I mean, that's it. That's the problem. The fact that so many people have guns and the access to guns. You know, my line sister's son is a student at Morgan State, and I went to school in Baltimore right down the street from Morgan State. It's just outrageous that the violence has come to campus and that so many are impacted by it. I mean, kids should feel safe, at the very least, at school. And it is because there are too many guns accessible in this country. And so we have to deal with that. We have to restrict and limit the use of guns. We have to figure out how to create efforts to reduce gun violence at all levels, including on college campuses. But like you say, people could be anywhere at this point and know that in reality they are at risk of potentially coming in contact or experiencing gun violence themselves. It's an outrageous state that we're in right now. It's horrible what happened at Morgan State. It's horrible that Morgan State's canceled its homecoming celebration and that this is impacting other campuses that are increasing security to protect the students on their campuses as well.
Greg, you teach at Howard University. Congratulations on 23 years there. These used to be safe havens, but the bottom line is they're no longer safe havens.
No, and thank you, Roland. But I have to agree with Nicole. I mean, and what you've said, this is symptomatic of a much larger problem. We all saw what happened at the University of North Carolina shortly after school started this year, which included the death of a faculty member, Zinzi Han, who was killed actually in his lab, and the shelters in place there. How do you protect against something like this? You know, at the onset of COVID, it was the bomb threats at HBCUs. And quite frankly, many of our HBCUs, of course, are in big cities. And, you know, the Republicans will say these are Democrat-controlled cities. Nah, Chief Rocker. What y'all won't do is pass sensible gun reform legislation. And so people, as Nicole said, it's too easy to get guns. And when you start talking about canceling homecoming, yeah, you've postponed the game, you've canceled the parade. I mean, this is at part of the heart of what makes HBCUs HBCUs. I know there's some silly people out there in Boulder, Colorado that somehow think some HBCU culture has been transplanted to the $300 million carnival machine called the Deion Sanders effect. That is not true, which leads me to the final point. Ohio State or University of Southern California or places like that. You know, yes, they're under threat too, but let's be very clear. there's something very, very personal when you start talking about waging violence in HBCU communities, because that strikes not only at the heart of the campus, but the heart of our communities. Children line up for homecoming parades at Florida A&M and Tennessee State and Texas Southern and Paul Quinn and wherever you want to name. So when you cancel homecoming, you've done more than just shuttle some events. You've touched the living, beating heart of what these institutions mean to our larger community. So this is something that is it's a tragic day for us.
Lauren?
Yeah, I mean, at some point we have to figure out that if we don't fix things on the front end and invest in young people, invest in kids in a different way, we're going to just be dealing with these problems generation after generation. Obviously, our society has too many guns, and we are funding our police departments adequately and all that. Maryland has some very tough gun laws, as does Washington, D.C. In the DMV, the place that doesn't have particularly strict gun laws is actually Virginia, but Maryland does. And now you're starting to see the cancellation of high school games because of gun threats. Obviously, we see the usual spate of mass shootings in this country, one or every 2 weeks. We saw today in Washington, D.C., Mayor Muriel Bowser announce yet another new initiative. She has been there for 8 years. She's doing the same policy. She's dealing with the same problems year after year. And without that investment on the front end on your young people, you're going to get this on the back end. By the time you get to the back end, it's too late. You're spending too much money on criminal activity. We had a member of Congress that was carjacked on Monday in Washington, D.C. and Southwest. It'll just go on and go on until people get smart. And if we can do $20 billion to Ukraine every 2 weeks, then we can sort of help figure out how to fund something that keeps our young people occupied. Certainly, Marion Barry had a particularly good idea with his job initiative for young people in Washington, D.C. But for Maryland has some very strict gun laws. So to what Greg said, yes, we're just sort of drifting into this thing of being a society that is sort of a permanent security state. Everything is about security all the time, and there's no getting around it, particularly when you have an open campus that anybody can walk on. I'm not sure how you fix that problem. You can't fix it on the back end. You have to fix it on the front end.
All right, folks, back to that Roland Mark Unfiltered video in just one moment. All right, folks, Curl Prep Natural Hair Solutions is an amazing organic two-step curl-defining system for women, men, and children. Look at this video, you can judge for yourself. People line up to see this product in action at hair shows. When they take a seat to try it, they don't believe it is their hair. You can buy the products at curlprep.com. It works on all hair types. Use the code ROLAND, R-O-L-A-N-D, lowercase letters, to get a 15% discount until October 21st. Now, it's just 2 steps, sweet butter and sweet defining gel, both at curlprep.com. And also, parents, you can remove the ouch. You will love this system because you can comb the product through your child's hair with your fingers. Seasoned Saints are loving the product as well, and the line has products that are great for twists, braids, locks, weaves, even those wigs and extensions. It's all at curlprep.com. Again, use the code ROLAND, R-O-L-A-N-D, lowercase letters, to get a 15% discount. That is until October 21st. Trust me, you will not believe it is your hair. Go to curlprep.com.